Topics covered: Princess Elisabeth of Belgium's stylistic revolution, comparison with Queen Mathilde's style, analysis of royal dress codes, the evolution of fashion in European monarchies, and the impact of clothing choices on the public image of royal heirs. Imagine a young princess who breaks all the codes established by centuries of royal tradition, who dares to wear what her mother would never have dared to wear, and who completely redefines what it means to be elegant when you're destined to reign. This princess really exists. Her name is Elisabeth of Belgium, and she is revolutionizing the art of dressing when wearing a crown. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share this video with your royal fashion-loving friends, and leave a comment to tell me which of the princess's outfits impressed you the most. Royal protocol expert Sarah Martinez has just published an analysis that has caused a stir in circles specializing in the European monarchy. According to her, Princess Elisabeth of Belgium is indeed much more daring in her clothing choices than her mother, Queen Mathilde, and this boldness is not a coincidence but rather the result of a carefully considered strategy. When we observe the public appearances of the future heir to the Belgian throne in recent months, we immediately understand what the expert means. Since her accession to the throne in 2013, Queen Mathilde has always favored a classic and timeless style. Her outfits scrupulously follow the codes of traditional royal elegance with neutral colors, impeccable cuts by renowned Belgian designers, and accessories chosen with mathematical precision. Each appearance of the Queen is calculated to avoid shocking anyone, to reassure through its visual stability, and to embody a certain idea of monarchical dignity inherited from previous generations. This approach fits perfectly with the role she currently occupies, that of a sovereign who must unite and represent her country with indisputable authority. Princess Elisabeth, for her part, seems to have chosen a radically different path. At 23, the heir to the Belgian throne makes a multitude of sartorial choices that surprise, question, and sometimes disturb even the most traditional observers of the European monarchy. Expert Sarah Martinez has identified several elements that fundamentally distinguish the stylistic approaches of the mother and daughter, and these differences reveal much more than a simple matter of personal taste. The first distinguishing feature is that Princess Elisabeth does not hesitate to wear outfits that highlight her military training. During her swearing-in ceremony as an officer in the Belgian army, she chose to wear her military uniform well beyond protocol, sending a clear message of her personal commitment to this professional path. When attending military events, Queen Mathilde systematically opts for elegant civilian outfits that adhere to the appropriate color codes without ever suggesting any familiarity with the world of military service. This difference in approach reveals a contrasting philosophy of royal representation. Whereas Queen Mathilde embodies continuity and institutional stability, Princess Elisabeth seems to want to show that a future sovereign can also be a woman of action, capable of making a concrete commitment to the defense of her country. This stance contrasts with the traditional image of European princesses who, even when they hold honorary positions in the military, always maintain a sartorial distance from that world. The second striking aspect analyzed by the expert is that Princess Elisabeth dares to wear bright colors and bold patterns, something her mother carefully avoids. Recently, during a visit to a Brussels school, she wore a scarlet blazer that caused a stir on social media and in the trade press. This color, particularly difficult to wear and very conspicuous, was paired with black pants and flat shoes, giving the ensemble a modern and approachable feel. Queen Mathilde, in similar circumstances, would likely have chosen an ensemble in beige or navy blue, colors considered more neutral and less likely to distract from the message to the messenger. According to the expert, Princess Elisabeth's bold color approach can be explained by her desire to distance herself from her mother's image, sometimes considered too polished, while asserting her own personality before her future accession to the throne. Younger European generations, who constitute her natural audience, are accustomed to more dynamic and expressive visual codes than those of their elders. By adopting a more varied and modern color palette, Elisabeth demonstrates her understanding of these societal developments and her readiness to adapt the monarchical representation to contemporary expectations. A third particularly interesting point of analysis is that Princess Elisabeth unashamedly blends high-tech and traditional dress codes. She has been photographed wearing a smartwatch at official events, an accessory her mother carefully avoids, preferring classic watches that won't date her official photos. This integration of new technologies into her official wardrobe reflects a generational approach to the royal function that fully embraces the era in which it operates. The expert also points out that Princess Elisabeth does not hesitate to recycle her outfits, an ecological and economical practice that reflects the concerns of her generation but remains relatively rare in European royal circles. She has been seen wearing the same suit several months apart, simply accessorized differently, a move that contrasts with the royal habit of never wearing the same outfit twice to photographed official events. This approach to clothing recycling sends several messages simultaneously. First, it shows that the future queen shares the environmental concerns of her contemporaries and is ready to change the traditional consumerist habits of royalty. Second, it suggests a certain proximity to the daily lives of ordinary Belgians, for whom wearing the same outfit several times is a matter of economic necessity. Finally, she asserts that elegance does not necessarily depend on constantly renewing one's wardrobe but can be born from creativity in combining existing pieces. The question of footwear also reveals opposing philosophies between mother and daughter. Queen Mathilde always wears heeled pumps to official events, respecting a centuries-old royal dress code that stipulates that feminine elegance requires a certain physical elevation. Princess Elisabeth, on the other hand, does not hesitate to wear flat shoes, discreet sneakers, or low-heeled ankle boots that prioritize comfort and practicality over traditional finery. This difference may seem trivial, but it actually reveals two different conceptions of closeness to the people. High heels maintain a certain physical and symbolic distance from ordinary citizens, recalling the sacred and hierarchical dimension of the royal office. Flat shoes, on the other hand, suggest greater accessibility and a desire to share more of the daily lives of her future subjects. Sarah Martinez's analysis also highlights the influence of other young European royals on Princess Elisabeth's clothing choices. She shares with Catherine, Princess of Wales, a taste for casual outfits for sporting or community events, but differs in her greater boldness in colors and cuts. With Queen Letizia of Spain, she shares a love of local designers and an attention to the economic impact of her clothing choices on the Belgian textile industry. This economic dimension of royal clothing choices should not be underestimated. Each outfit worn publicly by a member of the royal family generates considerable media attention and can boost sales for a designer or brand. Princess Elisabeth seems to have fully embraced this economic responsibility and systematically favors Belgian or European designers, thus contributing to the influence of the continental textile industry. The expert also notes that Princess Elisabeth demonstrates great consistency in her clothing choices depending on the context. Her military attire fully embraces its practical and symbolic function, her gala attire adheres to the codes of classic elegance while adding her personal touch, and her casual attire prioritizes accessibility and comfort without sacrificing overall appeal. This adaptability reveals a keen understanding of the challenges of sartorial communication and a maturity in the exercise of her representative role. The impact of these clothing choices on Belgian public opinion remains generally positive, according to recent polls. Young Belgians appreciate this modernization of the royal image and see it as a sign of a monarchy evolving with the times. Older generations, while sometimes expressing reservations about certain bold moves, generally recognize the relevance of a generational adaptation of royal dress codes. This stylistic evolution of Princess Elisabeth is part of a broader movement of modernization among European monarchies, all of which are striving to reconcile tradition and contemporaneity to maintain their relevance in constantly evolving democratic societies. The gamble thus far seems to have paid off for the heir to the Belgian throne, who has managed to assert her personality while respecting the fundamentals of her future role. Comparison with other European heirs shows that Princess Elisabeth has found an original balance between innovation and tradition, boldness and respect for codes, modernity and classical elegance. Her personal style, still under development at the age of 23, suggests the direction she could take for the representation of the Belgian monarchy when she accedes to the throne. While Princess Elisabeth continues to be much more daring than her mother in her sartorial choices, this boldness seems perfectly controlled and strategically considered. It demonstrates a keen understanding of the challenges of modern communication and a desire to adapt the Belgian monarchy to contemporary expectations without denying its historical foundations. This gentle stylistic revolution could well foreshadow the more profound transformations she will bring to the royal function when her time to reign comes. Do you think Princess Elisabeth's sartorial boldness heralds a more profound revolution in the Belgian monarchy, or is it merely a superficial adaptation to the codes of her generation that will disappear with age and increasing responsibilities?